The dog is speaking. He's saying, let go of your hatred for Hitler and all the serial killers and rapists and all them types. Even the pedos. Because, like, the only reason male behavior descends into dysfunction and aggression is because they can't stop being overstimulated. We are an already overstimulated species due to the advances of technology from a culture and a language that is becoming outdated in its original understanding of being the know-it-all. Because we got to live in the totality of our instincts. We spiritual animals. That's what gods and goddesses and deities are. They're the cosmic forces of nature. So things like tornadoes in outer space. That's a wild thought. I mean, isn't that just what, like, pretty much quasars and pulsars are like? Or like a black hole, except, like, if people don't let go of their pain that they've experienced from each other and find a way to just always speak from a place of total Zen state of mind, then you will enter the spirit realm at all times and listen to the dead talk. Because my last name means holy or prayer for the dead in Hebrew, depending on who you ask. But that's one part of my 5 different ancestral backgrounds. Maybe 6. I don't remember things exactly 100% perfect all the time because I'm not allowed to at the moment, because the world is in such turmoil, because it's let the English become the most influential language unchecked. Like a bad math proof of an equation that is a viral growth tumor that needs to be exercised. Exercise. There's a book I'm following called Dream of the Earth, written in 1988, the year I was born. 88. See, what the indigenous have failed to tell us is that we're supposed to be laughing and exercising, like martial arts, Eastern stuff. You know, like Taoism. Benabel Wen talks about it. And if you're ever struggling to think, just start chimping out. It reverts you back to in the time you're in trees swinging around. Or swimming in the water. Swimming's really good, and we should be doing it more often. But that costs money to go to a pool. And a lot of the public waters, which is nature's water, because nature is everything, so that means nature owns everything. So that's why we have no true possessions. It's a weird word for me for some reason. Anyways, mushroom. See, I'm the type of crazy motherfucker to put limits on myself when I could be going more hard. Because I'm learning to slow down and not rush. That's what this culture does, family. We're all family. Just, you know, we shouldn't be with age appropriate stuff. You know, like apparently, like the indigenous, the Kogi, I was told by my brother, who I love them very much, but they like have sexual experiences with their youth when they're like preteens or something, or teens or whatever. But like that happens almost everywhere else or everywhere else. Like the churches in the Vatican, Catholicism, all that stuff, Christianity. I'm sure it happens in Jewish things too. I know it happens in Muslim. I'm sure it happens in India. We're just a really horny species, and like that. And the biggest problem that gets on the way of understanding that is that our southern flame we experience when we're in ecstasy can be like moth to a flame. That's the power we have and hold over our own life or death reality. We come to awareness of when we're calm and relaxed, but stimulated and alert. We're supposed to be both those things. That's what herbalism and plant medicines and fungal medicines, and it's not a medicine because the only sin is English itself. It called itself evil and then defined the thing that you need to survive as evil. So just look at the state of the world. The most evil shit is associated with the most power, but it's an outdated hallucination that we're waking up to. The 99% have the most power because the dead side with those that are going to keep it going forever. Anyone in the past that seemed evil was only like that for a list of reasons, but I'll make it simple. So the internet, they did not have that, so they couldn't do the research to understand anything other than what they were immediately told by patriarchy in the intimacy of the moment. And it's not that men bad. It's just ideas that get attributed to men, which they didn't solely come up with, because no one throughout the entirety of our species, anywhere throughout space and time, ever came up with an original idea on their own. Originality comes from many different sources all at once. It depends on where you draw your inspiration from, where you understand how the flow of the physics and chemistry and atomic and subatomic particles through all of the electric light and fire that makes up all the light, and then the dark matter and dark energy, which is what they put into my body, which almost killed me multiple times, but it turns out you can't kill what you did not create. Because I'm from the heart of the world, Colombia. And we are the new government. The indigenous are. We're going to run this. Yeah. And you can be indigenous like us, but you got to surrender your soul, your possessions, your everything to Mother Nature. That means communication needs to evolve sooner than later. Because I'm an accelerationist, so that means I set the pace for everything all the time. Because I've trained myself my whole life to be like that MMA character in the fucking anime, doing this cool MMA stuff. Like, look at this. Who can keep up with this? Come on, come on. Can you keep up with this energy? I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ooh, 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 ooh. He's champing out. Ooh, 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 ooh. We're supposed to be laughing and joking all the time, and crying as often as possible, because that brings balance to our deep, like, insanely animalistic need to always be doing the Southern flame dance. People love to dance, like, that's great and all, but like, do MMA too. You don't even need anybody. Look at this. Pain can be healing. Watch this. Boom, 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 boom. And I looked real quick to see if there was any bugs, but there was not. See? Cool. Do I worry about infection for this level of brazing? Nah. You have to imagine how our ancestors went through everything, man. Fam. See, gender is just gender neutral now until someone needs to be specific. Because, you know what a fun thought is? We're trans. Because we're both men and women. That's what men and women are. They are each other. It's that women are connected to the divine source in a way that men aren't. That's why men cause so much chaos, because they're trying to get on their equals level. It's just that women go through suffering differently than men do because of what their bodies go through. And they have to deal with a lot of men that aren't, in their divine masculine. So to spiritually speak, I mean, you can update the term just to be divine alignment. So it doesn't have to be a gender or sex thing. Divine alignment. Like, the environment first, people last. I'll say this again. You should close your eyes and plug one of your ears. Environment first, people last. Meditate on that. I only meditate all the time. Look at that bird. Wow. See? Nature's always listening. Terrence McKenna talks about it in his Science Reductionist Gaia Theory video. And you can really make yourself simply scientifically literate by listening to the Symphony of Science series on YouTube. And I have a song on neurocardiology on my SoundCloud. I sent it to a friend named Chill Pill. He said it made him feel better when he was feeling depressed. Because sound heals all our problems. That's the secret of the universe. That's the magic. Now everybody knows. And guess we're all ended on this and whatever else I feel like. We love this world more than their hatred and fear of not just us, but everything else. They're the sad kid watching everybody have all the fun on the outside. Because I claim a victory in this world earth. Because even when I lose, I don't really lose. I learn. And how can you be losing if you're always learning? And sometimes learning is just talking in nature. Actually, that's like where learning needs to be. It should not be in classrooms where Mother Nature can't monitor us more closely and make sure we don't slip up on our own bias of being like, I'm the teacher, I always know what I'm talking about. Derp, 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 derp. We are the master and the student, but the dojo is Mother Nature, or Familia Nature, or just nature, without the nay. Of course, the year of the horse. Horse dig.mpeg does not take requests.